Welcome to St. Andrew's United Church. My name is Sylvia Karskadden, and I want to tell you about an outreach initiative that we've been working on for a while now. It is called Love Your Neighbor, No Exceptions. You might say, well, that is stating the obvious in a church. Well, yes, it is, but we don't always express it out loud. So let me tell you how this new adventure came about. Several years ago, we decided we wanted to re-energize the outreach ministry of our downtown church, which is St. Andrew's United Church on Larch Street in Sudbury, Ontario. For starters, we had a couple of people on a committee, and we knew it was going to be a big challenge. So we began with a question. We were curious. We asked, what is out there on the streets around our church? What is happening in the buildings in our block? Does anybody live in them? What is happening on those streets through the alley? Who hangs out in the park behind us? What would you see if you walked to the mission several blocks away? We didn't have any answer to those questions. So we began to look around. Who are our neighbors, we asked. Who is out there? Well, some of the answers came from people in our own church. Many people had connections to different parts of the downtown. One person worked in an inner city school whose children had a lot of needs. Someone knew about the Value Vault in a local high school where students who were living on their own could get items that they needed. Some were members of an ecumenical group trying to make a difference in the downtown. And through them, we heard about a housing complex with an after-school program that needed support. On the other side of the park is the YMCA, and there are 6 churches within a few blocks of our own. Every year, we got an appeal to support the Elgin Street Mission and the Samaritan Center. We often took our food there after our out-of-the-cold dinners. Within a few blocks, there is a police station and a fire hall and a professional theater, all situated close by. Not too far away, there is a mall and a post office. Even in our building, we have a clinic where people can get tested for HIV and hepatitis. Eventually, we made connections with the jail, which had a part-time librarian, and we collected new books for them. Before long, we realized that we were living in a very diverse neighborhood, and we were truly at the center of things. One day, when I was going through my Facebook, my eye caught a posting from a church in Washington, D.C. It showed the front door of the church with a banner displayed. I stopped right away. I really liked it. And here it is. We began talking in our church about what it would be like to have a banner like that. What would it mean for us? Someone said, we would need to actually practice what the banner preached. Another person said the message had to filter through all our church policies, which meant we might have to review some of the things we were doing. Our church council decided to purchase the digital rights to the banner, and we began to talk about how we were going to introduce this exciting new project. We made some great plans, but then COVID hit and we were in lockdown. We still wanted to follow through with the plan though, so we ordered a big banner to be made. This is what it looks like. Isn't this an amazing message? Love your neighbor, no exceptions. Your neighbor who doesn't look like you, could be short, different color, messy clothes, long hair, maybe some piercings. Your neighbor who doesn't think like you. How hard it is to listen to people who don't agree with us. Don't we just want to persuade them to our point of view? Who doesn't love like you. That can be a challenge for some of us, who have definite ideas of sexuality and sexual expression? Who doesn't speak like you? What about all those different languages in our community, or people who struggle with speech disorders? Who doesn't pray like you? Yes, our different religions and practices can be something we just don't understand. Who doesn't vote like you? Now that can be hard to love your neighbor, especially if your neighbor is your relative. And then it says, no exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Now that is a tall order. This is a challenging message. When we get it together in our church after COVID, we will begin to talk about what all this means. It's about being a welcoming community, about including people in our activities and in our groups. It's about moving from the edge of the community to the center and feeling that you really belong. It's about listening and caring for one another. It's about helping everyone. We had some swag made up, buttons that you can put on your backpack or in your purse. The bookmarks were really popular, and we had some stickers made up to put on your devices, on your phone and your computer, whatever. We offered these to folks so we can all spread the message every day. Before COVID hit, we asked people to bring in pictures of what love looks like, and we were putting them up on the back pillars of our sanctuary. When we get back to the regular worship, and we're planning to invite someone to come and speak to us about the importance of inclusion and diversity, we want to be more aware of the community around us and how we fit into it. We're just beginning this adventure of love your neighbor, no exceptions. Would you like to be part of it? You can contact us for more details.